Hey guys, what's going on? Games here. In today's video, I'm going to do a Berserker guide because the last video did pretty well, the Mage guide, and it got 700 views, I think, which is a lot better than all my last videos, which got like 100. So I'm going to do another guide. Okay, so on the entrance, what you're going to need is nothing because you only want to complete it once, so it doesn't really matter what gear you have on the entrance, and like, yeah, it's really easy. You can get by with dragon armor, ender armor, stuff like that, and yeah, you'll be good. Now onto the actual floors. So floor 1, what you're gonna want is, okay, so first thing, strong dragon armor. Okay, so undungeonized because you need like catacomb 16, I think, which is kind of dumb, but I think it should be like slightly lower than that, but it's fine. So 3/4 strong dragon armor with a tarantula helmet. A tarantula helmet's great for strong dragon armor because it converts the 10 strength into 1 crit damage, so you can have, if you have 100 strength, you could get 100 crit damage, which is a lot. You could also use some, what's it called, unstable dragon armor, perhaps, and you could, if you can use those two, you can definitely use the superior. I think the price has gone down a lot, like I think it's like 18 mil. I think my math's wrong, but just put the total on the screen, Evan. Also, on, what's it called? Floor 1, you can use the Aspect of the Dragons. Right here, yeah. Oh, dang, the price, it used to be 400k, what happened? Oh, maybe because, like, it's useful now, because you can't just use a Flower of Truth. That makes sense. Anyways, just use an undungeonized Aspect of the Dragons for floor 1. And floor 2, it's basically the same, except you could use an adaptive blade instead of the Aspect of the Dragons if like the undungeonized one isn't doing you very well. Because like requires floor 2 completion. And does this one not? Why does it not have a requirement on that one? That's weird. Floor 3, you unlock the adaptive armor right here. So you can use that and it will actually be dungeonized because you unlock it on floor 3. That's just annoying, dude. Like if you want dungeonized stuff on floor 3 and stuff like that, you have to use like adaptive, and adaptive is not that good, but it's better than like undungeonized dragon armor, so you gotta do it. And then like also I guess you could use like zombie soldier, I guess, but like zombie soldier isn't too great. I mean, like, let's see, what's the requirement? Zombie knight's too high of a level, and zombie soldier just isn't that great. I mean, maybe if you get like a legendary set, but like at that point, I don't know, look, it's not really worth it. So floor 3, you can use the adaptive armor and then all the dragon armor mentioned earlier, the strong dragon, the unstable, and the superior. Although with the unstable, it's like the least good out of all of the ones, so maybe you might struggle with that one. And if you do, then you may want to make a switch to one of the other armor sets I've mentioned. But yeah, and you can keep using the adaptive blade. I think by floor 3, the Aspect of the Dragons, at least undungeonized, will be pretty useless. Then floor 4 is where it gets interesting again. It's like you don't get good enough gear to complete this floor at this stage. It's like you can't complete it with this undungeonized dragon armor. You can maybe do it with adaptive, but also like adaptive's like a big investment for like something that's not gonna last you that long. Cause like right after floor 4 you unlock Shadow Assassin, which is like way better than adaptive. But yeah, floor 4 you can use adaptive. And then like you could use, I guess, okay, hear me out. I guess if you are catacombs 15 or catacombs 16 and still doing floor 4, you could use dungeonized strong dragon and dungeonized unstable, and that would be good for floor 4. But I'm not sure how many people are going to be catacombs 15 and 16 and not having done floor 4, because that, if you're that catacombs level, you can do floor 5, but you have to complete floor 4. And then also for like the weapons, you could use a spirit bow for clearing, and then also a juju, and I guess you could still use the adaptive blade, but like it's not that too great. But yeah, here the update made the spirit bow a short bow, so it's actually like useful now, so like it's pretty good, and it's gone up in price, but like it's basically just like the worst juju. So yeah, and then like the juju has like a way higher requirement, so it's like a lot more difficult. But like it's still good, and it's way cheap now. It's so cheap, yet the requirement's really high. But like used to be 18 mil like I think when it came out it was like 30 mil, something like that. So yeah, it's definitely gone down in price. So if you just want to grind for it, then it'll be pretty cheap. Just as cheap as the spirit bow, just with a higher requirement. Now, floor 5. Floor 5 is when you get the good stuff. So you can go on to, you can get some Shadow Assassin. Shadow Assassin, you could do the full set, although maybe you want to replace the chest plate with a zombie nut chest plate. Here, let me show you the zombies nut chest plate, because it's pretty expensive. The Shadow Assassin chest plate, as you saw, is like 19 mil. This is cheap, but you want to get the legendary one, preferably one that's 100% item quality, which would just make it the legendary rarity, and also completed on floor 5. Get a floor 5 100% quality. Yeah. And for the weapon, you can use lots of new weapons. You can use, for example, the Livid Dagger. You can still use the Juju and the Spirit Bow, and then you can also use the Shadow Fury right here. Pretty expensive, but like, look at those stats. Come on, that's pretty good. Oh yeah, also, if you're gonna use like the full Shadow Assassin, I would suggest replacing the helmet. So don't do full Shadow Assassin. So either replace the chest plate with the zombie nut chest plate, or replace the helmet with the tarantula helmet, so you can get that crit damage and stuff like that. And then for floor 6, you can use the same gear, although you do gain some new weapons like the Flower of Truth, which is good for clearing and stuff like that. And then you can also unlock the giant sword. And I'm not really sure how this works, but there's like an axe of the shredded and a giant sword swap, where essentially I think like the strength of the axe of the shredded or the damage of the giant sword transfer over to the other one, so you end up doing tons of damage. I don't really know how it works, but I'll leave a link on to how to like giant sword swap in the description. And then yeah, you can still use the Juju, but I'm not sure about the spirit bow because it's not as good. So you might as well just like do the grind to get the to get the Enderman Slayer 5. Then for floor 7, you can use what I have right here, 3/4 Necron with the Tarantula helmet, or you can replace the boots with Naxor boots if you want to go faster. Although the Necron does slightly more damage, it's not that big of a deal. If you just want a little bit more speed, then use the Naxor boots. And then you can also use the Juju for clearing still. Asks of the shredded and the giant sword swap. The Phantom Rod for some life steal. If you're running low on health, you can just whip that out. And then if you're rich, you can use the Terminator for clearing, or maybe like a Hyperion, even though you're a Berserker Hyperion, still good. Not sure if that's true. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. So yeah, that's basically it for the weapons and armor. So now for the what's it called? The Reforges. So early game, fierce. Later game, ancient. That's it. Now for the pets. For like the early game, you can use like a griffin, a tiger, a lion, stuff like that. And then later on, you may need some like effective HP. So you can use like a blue whale or a baby yeti if you have like lots of strength, like using Necron or like Shadow Assassin. And yeah, you can also use a wither skeleton on floor 7. Because like you deal, I think it's let me see its perk. It's something to do with withers. 25% more damage to wither mobs, and you take 30% less damage from skeletons, which there's lots of skeletons in floor 7 during the first stage of Maxor. So yeah, and also 25% more damage to the withers, and the bosses are withers in floor 7. So pretty useful. And then there's something else I'm missing. Oh yeah, healing items. So like I mentioned in my last video, you can use the orbs. I like the Radiant and the Mana Flux for like early game, and the Overflux and the Plasma Flux for the later game. And then also you can use the Ornate or the Florid Zombie Sword. I have the Florid right here. So yeah, I don't know, I think I have this. But... So you can use the Florid Zombie Sword or the Ornate Zombie Sword for your healing, along with the Power Orbs and stuff like that, which would benefit your whole team, the Power Orbs. So yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, I think this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye.